Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us. My camera's wobbly, but we're still going to keep going. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. Benny, where can they find us on social media?
Yeah, you can find us, Ray Benny Sports. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Also, check us out on Reddit and Discord, and leave us a rating on your favorite podcast provider.
We got a little bit of Bomber talk, a little bit of CFL talk, definitely some Winnipeg Jets talk, and we got quick shots to finish off. But let's start off with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We haven't been on air for a couple of weeks, but since then, Andrew Harris has signed a one-day contract to retire as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. One of the greatest Bombers of all time, for sure. Like, dude came back home and won cups.
It was so brief, eh? Like, he wasn't here. It feels like he was here for a long time, but it was only, 5 seasons, right?
Yeah.
No. Was it 5?
2016.
Yeah, so it was 5 because that one COVID year that got completely wiped out. But the impact he made on this city and on this team is crazy, and that'll live forever.
Yeah. So that brings the question, what is the most memorable or favorite Andrew Harris regular season game that you can think of and going back into the archives? I'm going to choose, you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
I'll go with the 2017 game against the Edmonton football team. That was their name then. I almost went all the way with that. It was the first game where we really got to see Andrew Harris as truly a double threat or dual threat running back. He ran the ball 11 times for 105 yards. That's almost 10 yards a carry. And then he brought in 8 receptions for another 120. And that's a year that he went over 1,000 yards, and he also got over 100 receptions. So he really cemented himself as a dual threat offensive weapon against that. And the Elks, not their name at the time, were 7-0. They're rolling, but the Bombers were starting to find their identity going into the game at 5-2, and they won 6-2. And it was just a foundational game that really showed us where the Bombers could be. And Matt Nichols even looked good. Dude almost threw for 400 yards. Shoot.
And Matt Nichols had his moments. He had a good run as a Bomber, and it just he took us as far as he could, and he helped make the team respectable for sure. But yeah, like Andrew Harris, you're saying, man, that year is when it started coming out and started showing the Bombers and the fans out here what he could do and help this team do. I'm also going to pick a game from 2017. I looked at a lot of games with stats, and there was a lot of games where he had tons of rushing yards. There was one game against the Rough Riders in the Labor Day. Tons of rushing yards. I think he was at 150, 160, but the Bombers ended up losing that game. So I'm going to take July game against the Owls, the comeback game in 2017. He didn't have a lot of rushing yards, like not great, 12 of 41, but 2 TDs on the ground. But he was like talking about your receptions. He was 9 catches for 93 yards in that game. Got the final touchdown, willed his way with no time left on that clock to just get inches over that goal line to give the Bombers the victory in that game and a big comeback win against the Owls, where they scored 2 touchdowns in the last minute and recovering the onside kick. So that was a great performance, and that was another moment for Andrew Harris as a Bomber.
Nice. I want you to start counting down from 10 to 0. I want to see how fast I can get my cord, because my recording device is going to die. So go ahead and start.
I got to get out loud. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Did you make it?
Still got that speed, baby. Still got that north end speed.
We needed a technical difficulties guy to come out for a bit.
Oh my gosh. I just saw this red battery thing pass. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to die. But with Andrew Harris, did you know that he never got double digits in rushing touchdowns in a season?
What? Really? That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy crap. Yeah. If you would ask me that a trivia question for $1,000 or something, I would have confidently said, yes, he was over, kind of thing. Right.
8 was his highest. He got 11 with 8 and 3 receptions, but he never reached. And that's how good he was. You just assume that he got double-digit touch multiple times.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing with the CFL, though, right? I mean, once you get to the 1 or 2, it's always a backup or third-string quarterback that comes in and vultures those, right?
Strevy.
Yeah, exactly. Or Prukop for the last whatever bit. It's like, whereas NFL, it's going to be your running back or a running back that's pounding that in and not the quarterback. That's funny.
That's such a good point. Like, I wonder how many touchdowns Strevy has that took away from Andrew Harris's total within the 5-yard line.
Yeah, no, there's got to be tons, right? I mean, it happens a lot, right? For every running back in that league. So they probably got to look at it and go in there, go in context, going, okay, Strebler got 7 touchdowns, but I could easily got those 7 touchdowns as well, right?
Exactly.
Like, how many did Prukoff have last year? Like a ton, or the year before, wasn't he? Like even Sean McGuire, right? Like when he was doing it, it's just a lot, right? So
that's like 50 grand out of the running back's pocket.
Exactly, right?
Where would you rank Andrew Harris as an all-time bomber? Like, for me, obviously, he's the top running back.
Yeah.
I'm definitely putting him in my top 10, but it's hard for me to get rid of Walby, Plains, Stiegel, Jones, and West in my top 5. So he's my top 10, maybe bottom 6 to 10, but he's in there.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. That top 5 is tough to break. Just thinking quickly off the top of my head, but yeah, he would definitely be top 10. To me, he did, like, a lot of those guys won games. Like Stiegel did amazing, right, for the Bombers. Unfortunately, no Grey Cups in that time. Harris came back and he, helped end a drought, and he was a key cog in any of that drought, especially in that Grey Cup game, right? So that impact is greater to me almost than what Stiegel did numbers wise. But it's still hard for me to put him above Stiegel, because where Stiegel ended up numbers wise and, just what he did. And like when we talked to him and interviewed him, the guy could have probably gone anywhere else. He could have made tons of money anywhere else. He was the best receiver in the league, but he stuck with Winnipeg when he did not have the best quarterbacks. And he knew going in until eventually Kari Jones came in that his quarterbacks were pretty terrible. So, and guys still stuck around.
Oh my goodness. Bombers cannot find a quarterback forever for the life of them. It was horrible.
I don't even want to relive that late 90s of that QB carousel until finally Kahari.
No, I went through that once.
I guess Kerwin Bell kind of settled it down a little bit, right? Even though he was at the end of his career.
Sure, I guess. Which is Chris Vargas. Let's continue talking CFL retirement. Big retirements this off season for some possible and probably guaranteed future Hall of Famers, with Andrew Harris, Chris Van Zyl, Jackson Jeffcoat, Sean Lemon, Larry Dean, Simone Lawrence, Henoch Muamba. Out of those, and he can only pick 2, who would be on your first ballot for the Hall of Fame?
That is a crazy list. I will say that. Like, unreal that all these guys. I was kind of shocked by the Lemon one coming out of there. I thought he was going to keep going after winning and everything. Andrew Harris for me. Right off the bat, he is for sure. He has to be first ballot. I mean, the guy ended up number 5 in rushing yards, and that's just rushing yards. That doesn't include his receptions and all that kind of stuff. So for me, he'd be the one guy.
3 rushing titles, 3 in a row.
Yeah. There's no question there, right? I mean, he's got to be the one.
Grey Cup MVP,
5-time Grey Cup champion, right?
In the Grey Cup,
5 times, 5 Grey Cup wins, right?
4.
So
1 with BC, 2 with Winnipeg, and 1 with Toronto. Sorry. Yeah, so I agree with you. I'm definitely taking Andrew Harris. He's the greatest Canadian running back, I think, in the league ever.
For sure.
Normie Kwong?
I guess Normie's still above him, right?
Yeah, Normie Kwong.
You know what? I mean, Harris did pass him in yards and everything, so that's tough. But yeah, Harris probably the guy. Number 2 is tough to pick. But I'm leaving it up between Sean Lemon and Simone Lawrence. But I think I'm going to go with Sean Lemon in that way, just because the Grey Cups 3 times, 101 sacks, forced fumbles is up there, All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm going to go Sean Lemon as my second guy.
Then I'll go Simone Lawrence. 3 times Defensive Player of the Year nominee. Most tackles in a game with 17. I'm pretty sure he's top 10 in tackles. Eddie Davis had 746 and he's at 727, so he must be in the top 10. He also has 35 sacks and 15 interceptions. This dude was a defensive threat all over the field, and he played on the edge.
Yeah. Well, according to Wikipedia, he had 760 total tackles, so I don't know if that's right or not, but
yeah, that's with special teams tackles.
Oh, okay.
I didn't include those because I don't think they include those with like Greg Battle and all that stuff.
No, probably not. No,
I didn't give him that. And even Henoch Muamba, I was kind of considering. Like, he had a great career as a linebacker. Probably would have had a more consistent CFL career if he didn't leave for the year and a bit.
That's the thing. Like, Simone Lawrence never left. He was pure CFL, right? I mean, Sean Lemon did leave a little bit, but a lot of it was CFL. Henoch left for a bit. His numbers are still pretty good. But yeah, just under probably because of his stint in the NFL. But those other guys too, Larry Dean, it not around for a long time, but quite the impact on the game. Yeah. And Jackson Jeffcoat, we've seen what he did as a Bomber. So, and the old linemen, the old linemen don't get a lot of flash sometimes, right? But he was solid. So,
oh, he's going Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah. All these guys are probably going to end up there, right?
Yeah, and I'd say 3 of them definitely should be first balloters, maybe 4.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who else is left out there, but this has got to be a crazy class to choose from just off of these guys, man. I don't know how they're going to do that.
If you're going to choose between the 2, who would you choose as the best Winnipegger to be a Blue Bomber, Chris Walby or Andrew Harris?
Tough question, man. I'd probably have to go Walby. I mean, just because he was around for a long time. He played a lot more seasons here than Walby did, than Harris did. And he's stuck here in Winnipeg and kind of became a Winnipeg ambassador and all the stuff that he's done now. We'll see what Andrew Harris ends up doing now that his career is over, if he sticks around Winnipeg. But yeah, right now I'd have to give that to Walby.
Chris Walby also breaking a streak in 84.
Yes, exactly. So that too. So
3 cups.
And he's been on the podcast. Maybe if Andrew Harris comes on the podcast.
He's alumni now. You know, we love those alumni. We love those alumni interviews, and the fans love them too. So, hey, time to reach out to Andrew Harris.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something a little more disappointing, or I don't know, depends on, I guess, what your opinion is on it. Should Chad Kelly be suspended during the investigation?
Yes. Yes, no question to me. Like, this is a very serious situation. The CFL's kind of dragged their feet on it because the original suit was February 21st. CFL said they're going to investigate February 28th. So we're over a month now since that date. Yeah. And nothing else has come out besides more allegations against Kelly and just, what's the right word for it? More to the allegations and printing more out what happened in that situation. There's got to be witnesses to this, right? There's got to be people, because it's not just him and her in the dressing room. There's got to be other people around. So there's got to be a way to find out more information on this. But I don't think you can have Chad Kelly come to training camp while this is still going on. Yes, he could end up very well in this whole situation, be innocent. So let it all play out and go that way and let him come back after the fact. But it's a distraction to the team and to the league if he's allowed back in there right now.
Yeah. If they're going into the off-season program and stuff like that, I say yes, keep them off the field. But, man, and it's not about not believing the victim in this point, but we've seen before with Ottawa them suspending someone who was not guilty of the infraction that they were accused of. And I think Chad Kelly is in that position where if he is suspended and the team cuts ties with him, that could probably maybe do more harm to him as a human and a player than it would suspending him, because he is not stable. We've just seen that online with his whatever he was saying, whoever he was talking about or to, he is not stable. And I don't know if suspending him rather than, bring him closer into team business. And maybe you can do that. Maybe you can suspend him. And at the same time, Pinball has a close hand on him and has open communication with him. But I don't know. It's a hard thing to do. I think if you suspend the guy, that could send him into a horrible situation, even though he might be guilty. I don't know. It's a hard situation to say. I do in my gut feel that yes, he should be, but at the same time, because he's so mercurial and up and down, does that benefit the dude? I don't know, man. And do you think about what benefits a dude when such heinous garbage has been accused on him? I don't know. It's a hard situation. So I'm really on the fence on this one.
And that's why the league needs to probably pick it up, or the investigation needs to pick it up a little bit more and kind of get a resolution, because training camp's open in just over a month, right? So these guys are going to start reporting. And what do you think the questions are going to be to the guy as soon as if he comes in here? Did you do it? What went on? Blah, 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 all that stuff, right? So people want to know the answers. They want to know. And maybe the CFL needs something like the NFL has, that commissioner example list, right? Where they can put a guy on there and say, hey, man, we're looking into this. You're not guilty, but we want to make sure before everything goes down what we do in this situation. Because, yeah, like you said, NFL guys have gotten caught for certain things right off the bat and then found out, hey, they didn't do it. And then it's hard to go back to that situation afterwards, right? And then other ones where they kept the guy too long and then found out, yeah, he did do it. And it's like, we screwed up, right? So tough situation for sure. But yeah, I would hope they can get this resolved or to the next phase. If he's going to get charged, then there's your next step and there's your next phase, and hey, it's time to cut ties at that point.
I'm also having a hard time believing that a league that can't get their shit together with online stats can handle a full-fledged investigation efficiently.
Not at all. Not at all. That's why there's probably been no announcement. They probably haven't looked at anything in almost 2 months. Like, it's been a month and a half, right?
Yeah.
Like, they probably haven't looked at anything. So
they don't know what they're doing.
No.
At least whatever they've shown, like this expansion thing they've tried to do, the inability to get any kind of momentum going in marketing, it's just failures all around. And I have no confidence in regards to this delicate investigation of them doing it properly or efficient. I don't know.
Yeah, that's another discussion at some point, is how long does Uncle Randy have left running this show?
No, they got to bring in a pro. Like, it's great that you have an older veteran alumni CFL player from Winnipeg, born, but come on, let's get a pro sports lawyer, whatever, so people take this league seriously.
Yep, exactly.
Let's move on to some Winnipeg Jets talk. Brought to you by Fahrenheit Airbrushing. Stand out on the ice, pavement, or the field with a custom airbrushed helmet or goalie mask. A local Manitoba business with affordable solutions for any project. Check out Fahrenheit Airbrushing on Facebook or call them at 204-891-7431.
And tell them Ray and Benny sent you.
We haven't talked about the Jets in the past couple of weeks, and since then, maybe we shouldn't be talking about the Jets because they've gone on a 6-game winning streak since we had our blowout.
But we did talk about them, and then they went on to start winning that night. So,
okay, well, let's risk it and talk about them again. They're on that 6-game winning streak. Thoughts, concerns? How did the Jets turn it around after a 6-game losing streak? Well, we can't deny that getting Gabe Vilardi back, my shirt's disappearing in this weird kind of thing, has been a positive punch to the top 6 forwards. Like, having him there has been amazing. And yes, a lot of his goals come in front of the net, but I could really care less. Like, you look at Edmonton and Zach Hyman, who's at what, 50 goals now?
Yeah.
52, 53. And most of his goals come in front of the net. And the Jets, as you know, I've been complaining about getting an ass in front of that net to put the pucks in the net. And now he's back and the offense has found some certain kind of groove there. So I'm going to put that on the table. That getting Gabe Vilardi back was huge.
Oh yeah, big time. 6-1 since he came back. That one loss was against Ottawa. That first game he was back. The power play has come alive. 5 for 16 in the 6-game stretch. So it's huge. And the goal against Nashville, like you say, right in front of the net, and then through the legs and up under the bar on Saros, right?
Yeah.
And he's got a couple of power play goals right from that area as well. The hat trick against Calgary was big as well. So yes, he has definitely added a spark, and he's helped that power play kind of get better. 5-on-5, that line is still, with him and Connor and Shifley, still iffy here and there, but he is definitely right now, to me, a key cog in that forward group and helping this team start the 6-game win streak.
Yeah, and with him in front of the net, you're taking a defenseman out of the play, and that gives a lot more room for Connor to move around and for Morrissey to move around.
Yeah, Morrissey's been on fire too over this 6-game stretch too. So yeah.
Yeah, he has space to work, and that's what you have when you have Vilardi in there. So what else do you think is going on in this 6-game winning streak?
Well, special teams has turned it around. We talked about the power play. Penalty killing only gave up 2 power play goals in this 6-game stretch as well. Solid goaltending. I mean, as we saw in this, like especially the Nashville game, my good God, the Jets were up 3-1 in that game early in that first and just dominating almost that period. And then all of a sudden Nashville's like, you know what, let's go. And I don't think I've ever seen the Jets in a long time get that beaten down and taken. Like, it was just onslaught after onslaught, and Hellebuck held it in there. Yes, they tied it 3-3 Nashville, but the Jets got it together and won it in overtime. So solid goaltending there. Goals coming from different guys, right? It's not just relying on that line one. We got power play goals. Lowry popped in a couple last game. Perfetti in his short time in this lineup, that game against the Kings, we thought, okay, he had finally turned a corner, but he popped in 2 there, and unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for him. Ehlers in his stretch, a bit up and down, but he has popped in a couple goals. So they're getting that from different areas. And then in the Wild game, it was all 4th line. Nemestikov, Diafalo, and Barron all scored their 11th goals of the year. So it's nice to see other guys chipping in, and the Jets not just relying on one line to score in these games.
Hellebuyck possibly cemented his Vezina in a 6-game streak.
Especially the Nashville game.
I haven't played all games, but he's at a 175 average, 95 save percentage, and 1 shutout.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good without me cursing, man.
Yeah, let's just hope he can roll it into playoffs, because that's what everyone's down on him, right? As soon as the playoffs start, they think, oh, Hellebuyck sucks. So we'll see. You know, Brossois had a wicked season, and maybe it's good that Brossois there, because he's kind of pushing him, you know, because Brossois comes in and gets a big shutout against Dallas, a team that the Jets haven't beat this year.
Third.
His third shutout too. And then Hellebuyck's like, you know what? I'm going to do this as well, and shuts on Colorado. Even though the Jets had that big lead, you think, oh, maybe it was easy for Hellebuyck. The guy still faced just about 30 shots, I think it was, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you're still facing McKinnon, Ratton, and Makar, all those guys. So it wasn't an easy shutout, but he just responded well. And I think they did this earlier, right? Brossois shut out the Kraken. I can't remember now who Hellebuyck shut out the next night, kind of thing. So it's good to have these two. They're pushing each other. And, you know, if for some reason Hellebuyck does falter in a couple games in the playoffs, you have a good backup that you can go to in Brossois. But I expect this will be Ellie's year in the playoffs. Yeah.
Playoff tested.
Well, I mean, look what he did to the Jets last year, right? And the Jets actually dominated a few of those games last year in the playoffs, and Brossois held down the fort, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Jets are funny though, man. I mean, like you talked about it, right? Where they're on a 6-game losing streak when we spoke last. Then now they're on a 6-game winning streak. They had a 5-game losing streak earlier after Christmas. Then they won 7 of 8. It's like they're all over the place right now, but hopefully they can keep this going, because those big wins against Nashville, Colorado, or Dallas, and then Colorado divisional games, right? So
they're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And if you haven't figured it out, Hellebuyck was definitely a star performer.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Velarde then instead, because Velarde came out and came back in, hat-trick game, and really just helped on that power play get it going. And Sean Monahan, you know, can't leave him out too. He's been a pretty good trade so far, and it's worth so far that first rounder that they gave up for him.
Yeah. Shout out Logan Stanley. I'm having fun watching that guy play.
Yeah, you know what I'll do too. I'll give him credit too, because I'm usually ragging on the guy, but yeah, I'll give him credit. He's, besides that Nashville fight, because as soon as he fought, that game kind of flipped, and it's like, dude, you don't need to do this. There's no need. You're controlling this game right now. But other than that, yeah, he's been solid. Him and Sandberg have been good together.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? I love that physicalness of them. And Sandberg's really good at moving the puck, like from his own zone to the center line really nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can get some good passes.
Pionk's still in that lineup, though. Things have settled down a bit.
Is he a concern of yours? Is he a concern of yours?
He's just, well, I mean, you got 2 shutouts the last 2 games, but yeah, it's not like they were clean. I mean, they were good games. They played solid games. Yeah. But Pionk, he's still my concern, and the guy kind of going into the playoffs. So hopefully he can manage it. I know from what I remember, him in the playoffs, he usually turns the page and ends up being solid, because I know he's been in the thorn in the side of McDavid in the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully he can do that again going into the playoffs.
You saw him against Colorado. He played a physical game.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what
McKinnon didn't have much success either.
That's what you're going to need going up against McKinnon, right?
Upcoming week, Kraken and Canucks. It's so hard, you know, like what are they going to do depending on if they get that point and they can get home ice clinched against the Kraken, then you can sit some guys and play some other guys against the Canucks and not worry about it, because the Canucks still have to play for first. Yes.
No, they got it. They can. Sorry, first in the conference. Sorry, in the conference. Yes, they got the Pacific Division though. Yeah.
No, if the Oilers lose tonight, I think they clinch the Pacific, don't they?
I thought they already had it because they beat the Oilers the other night.
Oh, maybe.
Let's just check real quick.
Maybe.
No, actually, sorry. Yeah, the Oilers still got 3 games left.
Yeah, so if the Oilers lose tonight, then they clinch the Pacific.
Yeah. And they still they can tie Dallas at 111, but I don't know who has a tiebreaker there. Just looking quickly, ROW. I guess Vancouver would get that. So Vancouver still has a possibility of finishing first in the conference. It looks like.
Okay.
Oh.
So they have something to play for till the end. Yeah. They have something to play for till the end. So the Jets, hopefully, they get a point against the Kraken, overtime, whatever. and they can rest some guys, play Brossois, get him in the William Jennings conversation if that's still possible.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in that. Yeah, exactly. Get that. I mean, they should be able to manage at least a point tomorrow night against Seattle, and get this thing done and get it wrapped up. I mean, Colorado still has one more game, so they could still lose that altogether, right? I don't know who Colorado plays off the top of my head.
I'm not sure.
But Colorado doesn't play till. Oh no, I can't find it quickly. But yeah, you know what? It's a good turnaround for the Jets, and to get home ice advantage against the Avs would be great too. Because I mean, you want to play that Game 7 at home, even though yes, if you look at it, Jets playoff record at home hasn't been great lately, but you still want that.
I hate that stat. I hate that stat so much. Oh, I don't want to read into it, but at the same time, it's hard not to read into it.
Yeah.
They get so amped up, I'm sure. Like that building is crazy. We've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there. It's crazy. So let's talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. Yes?
Yes.
Jets playing the Avs. Like we said, home ice has not been cemented yet. If they can get that point against the Kraken, then they do. What do the Jets need to do to win? How does this matchup shake out? Predictions. Who needs to step up for the Jets? Oh, the Jets have the goaltending advantage. I'm going to tell you that.
Oh yeah, after
that's
that
what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, because their goaltender is not very good in regards to that whole analytics goals against expected. He's but like almost 40th, and Hellebuck is damn near 1. So we got that advantage there, and that needs to keep going. And they obviously have to play good defense in front of them.
Yeah, well, because Georgiev. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Over 3 goals against, 897 save percentage. You know, not good. I mean, there is a backups have better numbers, but there's no way they're starting those guys. So, yeah, the Jets need to take advantage of that. On the flip side, though, Colorado has 3.7 goals for per game, so they're tops in the league on that. So, yes, the Jets. Hellebuck's going to need to step up. Hellebuck's going to need to play at his best in this first round series. The Jets are going to have to contain McKinnon. You're not going to shut him down over the course of a 7-game series. The guy ended up with 138 points, you know, and 51 goals right now. So have to kind of contain him. The Jets, I mean, they played well against Colorado. They only played them 3 times, which was odd to me for a divisional opponent. Like, what's the point of having divisions and these rivalries if you're only going to play them 3 times, but also play the Oilers and the Canucks and whatever 3 times? That doesn't make sense to me. So, yeah Jets 3-0 there, right? Big wins, 7-0, 6-2 in some of those games. So it'll be tough. But yes, like we talked about Pionk, you know, and the Jets had kind of experience playing McDavid and kind of shutting them down and frustrating. Not shutting them down really, but frustrating more than anything, right? So we got to do that to McKinnon, stay out of the box, because that Colorado power play will be pretty powerful.
They have to stay out of the box. And it's not in regards to, oh, yes, we know the refs are going to let a little go, but it's these little stick penalties, the holdings, the trippings, the hookings. They can't get any of that lazy stick penalties. Like you said, they're 7th ranked power play, and the Jets penalty kill under our special teams coach is not very good. So they definitely can't get into penalty trouble against the Avalanche, and they need to stay healthy. And if they can get Nino back, even better. Like, they
should be back
much faster, and they play a physical game with a healthy lineup. And I know that's like a no-duh kind of statement, but this team especially, when they have to chase the game and they're not playing physical, they are not good. They go on 6 games losing streaks. But when they can play physically dominant in the opponent zone, and they don't give them time to breathe, and they have trouble clearing the puck, the Jets are formidable.
Yeah.
So I know, knock on wood, they stay healthy.
It's crazy to me to look at it because the last 2 Nashville games that the Jets have played, or even 3, I think. Like, Nashville's had the Jets number, and I know the Jets have beaten them and just beat them as well. But Nashville, I don't know if they figured out a way how to beat this bonus Jets system. And you know, maybe that's something Colorado will look at going into this game to see exactly what the series to see what Nashville is doing, because Nashville's had the Jets numbers, and they've put the Jets under a lot of pressure, which has led to a lot of turnovers and opportunities for Nashville or the other teams. So
yeah,
Colorado could look at it. Like you said, power play for Colorado is 5th in the league. So that's going to be potent. Their penalty kill, not bad, 12. So the Jets have to keep that power play going on their end as well, because there's only going to be 2 to 3 penalties probably, or 2 to 3 power plays each per game, really. Maybe 2. because the refs put the whistles in their pocket and stop calling everything. So you're going to have to take advantage and cash in on at least half of those every game to have a chance to win this series. But it should be a fun one. Colorado, talking about winning streaks, Colorado had won like 9 in a row in March, start March, February kind of thing. And now since they've only won, been 3-7 since in their last 10 games. So Jets got to take advantage of that. They also, Colorado just blew a 3-0 lead against Vegas, losing in overtime. So right now, one team's hot and the other team's not. Jets got to come out in those first couple of games and make sure that Colorado does not grab momentum in any of those games and put it in, kind of take a stranglehold. If they're the first 2 games are at home, they got to come out and take advantage of that crowd and win those games.
Talk about the Colorado being the best scoring team in the league. Since the beginning of March, they have not been very good, and the Jets have been only like a couple decimal points behind them in regards to 5-on-5 scoring. So they're not feeling it scoring wise. And you look at their team and their roster, they have McKinnon, Riatanen, and Makar as their top 3, and then scoring just drops.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the game. If you can lock down those top 2 lines, and they're going to switch them up if they can't get anything going, then Colorado is in trouble.
Yeah.
I think the Jets match up very well against them, especially when you're going through your middle 6 forwards.
Yeah, and they have so far this year, right? Being 3-0, and they were close games, 6-2, 7-0. But like you say, the goals against now, the Jets are number 1 in goals against per game, so at 2.4. So, it's offense versus defense, right? It's gonna be an interesting one, and if Hellebuyck can stay hot, the Jets have a pretty good shot at winning this series.
You have a prediction for this series?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets, but I think it'll take 6 to 7 games. The funny thing is, if you would ask me 2 weeks ago if the Jets would have won this series, I would have said no, flat out no, right? But I think they got the opportunity now. They're the hotter team. They're the better team right now. So I think they can take this in 6 or 7 games.
If Jets get home ice, I'm going to go in Jets in 5.
I hope so.
I really like the momentum that they're playing with. I really like the physicality that they're playing with. And I think starting at home would be great to get some momentum. They can take one in Colorado with that 7-0 victory confidence, and I think they can take it in 5. If Colorado gets home, then I'll go 6 for the Jets still.
All right.
If it goes to 7, I'll go to Colorado, though.
Oh, at home, yeah.
Yeah, if it goes 7.
If it's at Colorado at home, you're saying?
Maybe both, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Maybe both. I don't want to see a Game 7 with Colorado.
I'm just excited. Hopefully it's a good series. Hopefully the Jets can pull it off, man. I would like to see them make a little bit of a run here. And if Hellebuyck can get hot and stay hot in these playoffs and just be himself, who knows?
He is hot. 175.
Yeah.
95 save percentage. Come on now. He's hot. So as long as he doesn't cool down, they play good team defense in front of him. Let's move on to some quick shots. I give my prediction. Stanley Cup winner. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Carolina. I've been picking them to win probably for the last couple of years. I don't totally trust their goaltending, but I think this time they'll actually get it done.
Jets aside, I got the Hurricanes. I was going back and forth between Hurricanes and Bruins, but I'm going to go Hurricanes. Hurricanes. Which Canadian team will make it further? Again, Jets aside, I'll go Oilers if Skinner can stay healthy and he doesn't fall apart. I like the Oilers' chances. He has better save percentage than Vasilevsky, better goals against average than Shesterkin and Ullmark. He's a good guy. And maybe I've been in Edmonton too long. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, but I'm going to go Edmonton.
Yeah, Edmonton could end up with a very tough first-round matchup. Oh, Mark Stone's practicing, right? So Vegas, they could end up playing Vegas there. So I don't trust Edmonton or Toronto's goaltending to do it, to help these teams out. So if we're not picking the Jets, I'm going to take Vancouver. I think they'll have maybe a better matchup with Nashville in the first round, even though Nashville's playing very well. Demko, if he's back for the playoffs, should fit in well there. So I'm going to go Vancouver.
Will hockey work in Utah?
Oh, I hope so. I don't know enough about it, but they got to get a winning team out there, right? One thing Arizona never had besides that 1-year run was a winning team, and they never ended up brought fans or consistent fans. So if they're going to get a winning team, I think it'll work.
I don't know. I really honestly don't know. They have a very thin professional hockey history going like to the late 70s in the WHL. The NHL didn't bring them in, and they're playing in an arena that is similar to Brooklyn's in regards to fan experience, and it wasn't that good. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? If they can get that arena start to be built and they're in there in the next couple of years, but it's going to take time to build an arena, right? It's going to take, so hopefully they get in there in 2 years, but.
Should Tiger Woods retire?
Yes, I think it's time. I watched a bit of him yesterday playing, and he did not look like himself. I think he went a +5 yesterday in his final round there. So yeah, I think he should.
No, I don't. Dude made the cut, and that's without any warm tournaments, and he's still dealing with that leg that was almost amputated. Let the man play. He brings eyes to the game. He brings money to the game, and he's still a huge part in that PGA LIV conversation. So I say, no, don't retire. What should the nickname of Princess Auto Stadium be?
You go first. I couldn't think of a good one on this one.
Well, if you're doing a top princess, I'm going to go the castle, but I think they should really officially change it to the Madhouse on Matheson.
Yeah.
Because I dread it being called a toolbox. That's dumb. So all these people in the stadium are tools? Is that, come on, use your brain now. No. So yeah, that's me. Castle or the Madhouse on Matheson.
I like the
Shout
castle.
out to Darren Bombing who coined that.
I like the castle. I was just going with the PAW, the PAS, the PAS stadium, really kind of thing. But I mean, there is a PAW already in Manitoba, but yeah, I couldn't think of a good one. But I like castle. Toolbox.
Please don't be the toolbox. Oh, that one's been floating around. I'm like, do y'all really hear yourselves? The toolbox? Why don't you just call it stadium full of dummies? Yeah. Don't do that. Benny, do you have anything to say to our friends?
You know what? Thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget, subscribe, follow, and go Jets, go.
Yes, and June can't come quick enough. Ooh, I can't wait. And in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it. Another edition of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.